And I have in the studio Chief Rafi, who he's been listening patiently and, of course, following the conversation with Comrade Chris. I would like you to help us find a middle ground between how it was practiced back in the day. You know, you've been in this business for a long time. How it was practiced back in the day and how it is practiced today. There is no doubt we have technology being incorporated into the business now. But how was it practiced and how is it practiced today? Can you find a middle ground, and are you impressed with what we have today?
Well, first of all, I want to say that information remains centrality. It's a centrality, or remains central to good development. If we take examples of what we have seen in other places, Britain, but I'm particularly intrigued by developments in America, where politicians had to struggle for establishment of various kinds of newspaper. If you follow that history, you see the Federalists, you see another one. Each party, everybody struggling, and one of the presidents saying he would prefer, it could be better not to have a government, but have a newspaper in place.
Okay.
That's to show you the centrality of communication in building a very strong nation. But having said that, yes, our journalism practice in all spheres, there are different spheres of it has evolved, just like the nation. If you go through journalism history, you will find that before independence, operations were very rudimentary. Moving from one point to the other was difficult. There were no what we call instruments of practice. Every equipment was highly rudimentary. From there, couriering was maybe by people. You want to look for somebody who is going to Lagos. So sometimes, and in those days, what Tribe so much became like what we call weekly newsletter. It wasn't the daily.
Before the advent of the technology that
That's
we
right.
have today.
Before it began to evolve from what do you call it, telegraphs. Then you enter the whining system, so a machine you'll be whining.
I'm sure you prefer what we have today to
of course, modernity will always be modernity because it's an improvement on what
but there are demerits. A lot of them. We have fake news. Everyone is now a journalist.
No, it's good for
when you go on social media and you put out a fake news and you see this is a viral video. That's how they start. This is a viral video.
Yes.
I'm sending, not minding the fact that you're also doing a journalist work. You're doing journalism. When you go with that your phone and you're making a video immediately and you're publishing it on your Facebook page, on social media, it's journalism. Now there are challenges we're facing. We that are in the business, like that are meant to be in the business, certified journalists in different unions, NUJ to Ratawu and the likes. These are challenges we're facing.
The advent of technology and the combination, where we are in terms of social media, is not a punishment to society. There is nothing, no matter how good an instrument, a process will be, it will always have these pro and cons. There will be advantages and disadvantages. I know you fear social media, but social media has come to help the society, and it has come to help the organized sector. You will remember, or if you remember, you do your research correctly, you will find out that at a point, yes, given the economic situation our national president spoke about, given the ownership structure, gagging of the press, reduction in press freedom was beginning to suffer. But with the social media, everybody is a journalist. They may not be correct. So what it does now is this. Yes, they go faster, but they are posing a challenge because people want reliability. It is reliability that makes information a tool for development. Now, those ones will go as a, what do I call it? I can call it a precursor, waiting for the formal sector like you and so on to come out with the real state of things. Now, because you know, you can be run out of business. Because you know that the man holding the camera is likely to have given us photos of the scene and done what you call unprofessional commentary. You are now challenged to be fast.
But that one tends to go more viral than even the the professional ones that we do. Before you know it, we get to a scene of an incident, and you capture what happened. You return to the newsroom, you write your story, forward it to the editor. Editor edits before he or she pushes it for final clearance, and it is published maybe through the broadcast medium or the newspaper. Before going through all these processes, someone with a phone that is not a journalist on the scene must have published, and it must have gone viral. So your story might not necessarily be needed.
No. The formal sector has the luxury of a wider scope, in-depth analysis. That is what you should use, including the speed. Nobody is challenging your ability to react to the modern times. Nobody says a reporter of this station cannot give us story now. And there's no law that says, as we are talking, that you cannot come in the station manager or news manager, however, and they say, okay, give us 2 seconds. You said breaking news. So it's challenging you to do all things in a much more better way. Now, I'm of the print media. Nothing says that as I'm going, perhaps leaving the studio, something happens that I can't pick my phone and call up the editor and say, please give me, because there will always be what we call a standby reporter. I said, this is what has just happened. I am coming up with the story. You have your phone, you have your, what other gadgets? You're a younger man. What do you call it? iPad or whatever?
iPad.
Nothing tells you if you're not lazy to sit down, stand by the roadside, and then competence. The new era is telling us be more competent, be more proactive. No matter what citizen journalism would do, the society will always be waiting for the organized former system to
let's
lead.
tilt.
Now, but you must buy in. You must also, you see, lazy people cannot thrive in this era.
Let's tilt our conversation towards freedom that we're celebrating today. Do we have it in Nigeria? Press freedom.
Well, press freedom is important. We must agree that it has to evolve. I don't want to see much automatic. Society will grow out of his experience. But there are things choking us up, like the national presidency, the economic system. Wherever there is poverty, the citizens, whether working or not working, cannot be efficient. There is high level of poverty in the country. Of course, we have not gotten to a stage where media professionals like Channel will own the companies or industry itself. Because when a journalist owns a broadcast house, for instance, the attitude will be different. There are things I will understand as a professional. There are things you will do that I will naturally appreciate. It's not all. You see, information is more like is a business thing. I agree.
That's when a journalist owns a media house. But today we have the largest percentage of those
goes to business.
Goes to business.
Yes, people. And it's posing.
They created their media houses to make profit, and no man wants to lose when you are running a business. So I don't know
which one brings more money. That is what I'm saying. If I own a business as a journalist now, I can go to this and rest, because my own is to dictate, give you the broad guidelines, and then you go and fill the the spaces as a professional. Which one will say a credible institution? I can praise. I can go up my way to praise Flow FM, professionalism. What is this? In listening to all shades of the opinion. So which one would people? What? Because the bigger the listenership, the bigger the money, the bigger the readership, the bigger the advert attraction. But I want to make an appeal. The atmosphere, like it has always been elsewhere, where there is an evolution in process, is choky. I am advocating that government, both federal and state, should give the media what I call there's what we call capitalization. Once in a while, Nigerian media deserve capitalization. Well, there should be special funding.
Will that not influence the outcome of what is expected from journalists?
It has been done. It has been done. It's a government funding. We are all Nigerians. Are you independent? Because whether the press is private or whether it's public, they are all in the service. The key goal is that we're all in the service of the people and society. And it's a central role. So it's not an example that is novel. It's something that other nations have done.
Now, I'm going to ask you, the role that the media should play during security challenges like the one we're presently facing in the country?
First and foremost, what is our duty? Our duty is to report events. I had the president say this morning the media should be more patriotic.
Exactly.
Especially in situations. But I now threw it back to them to say it's not the chronicler of history that provokes insecurity. It is the omissions and even commissions of the political class. They too should act much more patriotically.
Okay.
It's time we become, we in the leadership class become a little serious with issues of development. The question of poor governance system should not be a recurring decimal. It's successive administration.
It's worrisome that on a daily, 70% of the stories you see in the newspaper, sad stories, bad news. Like some persons target when they listen to us and say, "You people don't have good news that will make us happy." And when you when you go out in the morning and after listening to newspaper, you listen to the news, newspaper reviews, you open the newspaper, you find out that a lot of Nigerians are very angry. They buckle up those anger and frustrated and a lot of. But I'm asking.
That is the point,
Chief.
The point is that it's time we begin to talk seriously about good governance. Good governance means to making sure that the right atmosphere, we're able to listen to people. The atmosphere now is a bit choky. The absence of ideology for the country is also making things difficult. There's need to know what is the picture.
So how can we balance it? How can the media contribute towards ensuring national security when the political class are not doing their quota and we're respected? Every act of
insecurity will have the issue of life attached. Where we are losing lives, I agree, we can be a little cautious. I am not saying I won't go outrightly for a guy. But I can say there are certain aspects you can play down, because the fuel for either insurgency or banditry is publicity. Sometimes you can play down, put it in, instead of headline news, you put it on page 3.
Okay.
5 paragraphs and leave it there. I agree.
You hide it.
If you like. If that is what?
It's hiding. No. It's hiding.
But yes, I agree that. But the main challenge is to prod the leadership to begin to act.
But you will agree that there are some stories that are threat to national security, even though they are very true and factual. Are there some stories like that?
Have you come across stories like that? How do you define national? You see, these are what I'm saying. Who defines? The
government defines national security. Sometimes the constitution defines national security.
Different personalities at the helm of affairs will define it differently. Jonathan was there. Everybody was talking. Social media was talking. Nobody was clamped into. There were no fines. And then another person is there. So what I'm saying, the panel says for the media to act, to demand as of right that those who lead us must give us good governance.